Welcome to the BWP series.
Thank you. Thank you.
Abla, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. As you know, my name is Abla Masoperh. I'm a lawyer by profession. I'm married. I have 3 lovely children, and I'm a Christian. And yeah, I love people. Yeah.
Interesting. So, can you tell us a little bit about your law profession?
Well, I got into law mainly because I couldn't do medicine. When I was a little girl, I really wanted to become a doctor. I grew up on the Cape Coast University campus, and there was this lady I really admired, a lady doctor in that place. I used to see her on her stilts, going to the consulting room. It was called Dr. Brookmalinsa. And I really wanted to be like her, but unfortunately, I just couldn't handle the sciences. But I was doing well in the arts, so I guess that drove me towards that. And I needed a profession, so with my art subjects, I could do that. So I got into law, and it's been nearly 20 years since. It's been wonderful. I've done work in human rights law, human rights related law, and I've done also corporate and commercial mainly. And so yeah, that's what I've been doing in terms of the law. In terms of
Interesting. Now, I know you do a bit of advocacy in terms of the human rights.
Yes. When I came out of school, I did my national service with an institution called FIDA. And FIDA at the time ran a legal aid clinic, and where they took care of mainly indigent women who had issues with things like childcare, and needed people to assist them to as it were, compel their spouses or their partners to help them look after their children. And there were a lot of battered women. There were all kinds of domestic violence issues that we dealt with. So that's how I got into the whole human rights thing. I went on to do a master's in human rights law. Very interesting program. So I found myself getting sucked in a little more in that. And then I had the privilege of doing training for military people, going on peacekeeping as part of a program another NGO was running at the time, African Women Lawyers Association. That was also very interesting, teaching the soldiers about human rights law, what they find in the theater of war and all of that, how to identify abuse and so on and so forth. So that was also very interesting, what they themselves shouldn't do or should do in the field in terms of human rights protection. So that was interesting. But in terms of what I get paid for, I've been mainly in corporate and commercial practice, which has also been interesting. I've had the privilege of doing some very interesting transactions on the stock market, and I had the privilege of working in a bank for a few years. That was also nice because I was exposed to all these young people, because I was part of senior management. It wasn't just the law, it was also about managing people. And it was interesting being exposed to all these young people. They would come ask you advice apart from the work. They come ask you for advice. You point them in the right direction and so on. So that was exciting also. But today I find myself mainly, and I'm back in private practice, so I find myself mainly doing corporate and commercial stuff. Generally, it involves helping companies getting from point A to be in their transactions, day-to-day transactions, and what they need to do. Yeah, so it's interesting.
In your legal career, what would you say has been your philosophy?
Integrity, hard work, and excellence. It's really important to have these guiding principles undergirding what you do. Because there'll always be the opportunity to do the wrong thing. But I was also very fortunate when I came out of school. I had some great mentors who pointed me in the right direction of what practice should be. And I think that has helped me a lot. And so my advice to other young people is when you come out of school, don't just go practice in any chambers. Check them out on what they're doing in terms of their reputation, best practice, and whether your seniors have good reputation. I think it's always a good place to start. You would learn the best, because in school really you learn a lot of theory, but you learn the practicality on the job, and that's really, really important. You know. And I also advise, go somewhere where you can, where you're learning good stuff. Don't chase the money first. You learn first how it is done or how it should be done. I think the money will come. Money will come. So get a solid foundation first, and then go from there.
Interesting. Well, it's been good having you on the show.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate the time and the advice. You've been on another episode of the BWP Microseries. Stay empowered.